Well, welcome to On the Road to Rock. We don't get to do these in person very often, but here we are, Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, the Regalia Hotel, with none other than Corey Feldman. Corey, welcome to the show, my friend. How's everything going? I know we were kind of disappointed, no show tonight, but man, it's been a long road for you, and it looks like a great one, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, we're having a great time. It's been a great tour so far. Everything's been going awesome. It is a shame we can't do it tonight because, unfortunately, some things came up, and my band member wasn't feeling up to it, so we decided to take the break and give him the night off. But
and you're no night off for you. Here we are. You're meeting fans, doing the meet and greets, which is awesome.
I didn't want anybody to suffer because we had to make a change in course. I think that obviously we want to respect all parties involved. So I wanted to make sure that obviously that we do the right thing for our band and our crew, but I also want to make sure that we do the right thing for the fans. And therefore, since nobody is physically ill, it's a other type of thing going on. So we wanted to make sure that we held our part of the deal and made sure that fans that drove all the way down here from somewhere far and paid for a meet and greet ticket certainly had the opportunity to still say hi and get a picture. And we're even setting up our merch as if the show was going on, so that way they have an opportunity to buy some of the stuff that we sell on the road. And we apologize for not having a show here, but we do plan to have a show in the area coming up, hopefully maybe next summer, something like that. But we are talking about keeping this tour going for quite a while, so anything is possible.
So this tour, these shows, it's popping up all over TikTok. It's popping up all over social media, and it's almost like this grassroots thing where people are like, oh my God, Corey Feldman's up there singing the theme from the Lost Boys. I saw a show just from Texas the other day where it's like this awesome Halloween festival and people are just going nuts for this stuff. It's it's been a real grassroots kind of effort, and TikTok's blowing up. People are really just excited to see these songs. I think to see you and then a lot of the music that comes from the movies that you were in. It just it's this beautiful hodgepodge of...
Yeah, well, that's why we did it, because, this is Lovery Tours, right? So the whole idea is about projecting a positive energy and a positive vibe for our fans and people who come to our shows, because there's so much negativity out there. We've all been through a really tough few years. It's been a really tough time from all sides, whether it's the political divide, the anger and the hatred in our country, the famine, the disease, the sickness, the forcing us to get, injections. There's just so many things to be pissed off about,
I'm pissed.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right now. But there's nothing to be pissed about.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, we're all lucky to be here, and it's a beautiful place, and we just have to remember that and remember how to love one another instead of looking for the differences. We need to look for the similarities. And I think that the best way to do that is the connection of music and exchanging energy and love. And suddenly when you get that feeling, you get that buzz, that energy that comes from it, suddenly you forget about all the other stuff, and then you look around the room and you realize, hey, we're all the same, we're all sharing this together. And sure, there's a lot of other bands you can get that feeling from, we're not the only ones in the game, but we are doing something that nobody else can do, which is taking them through a brief time capsule of history where we can give them this nostalgia as well. So along with this dose of love and positive energy, they're also getting this nostalgia that brings them back to their childhood, to a happier time, to a safer, easier place. And they get that feeling of remembering what it was like to live these movies and this experience for the first time. So, throughout the show, we don't just do, my music. We don't just do new music. We do the classic hits. We do the stuff from the angelic era. We do the stuff from, when I first started, Dream a Little Dream, my first single, Something in Your Eyes, and then we also take people through all the film soundtracks, both the ones that I contributed to and the ones that I didn't contribute to, including, big movies like Goonies and Lost Boys and Stand By Me and all that stuff. So we don't want to ruin all the surprises, but I'll tell you that it's always a fun show. There's not a person that could honestly watch the show and say that they weren't entertained in some way. In the past, I know a lot of people came because they were just curious to see what it was all about, but I think that's changed over the last few years. I mean, you get a couple top 40 hits, and now you've got people coming and they know the words to the songs and they're singing along. But now there's a whole other thing, which is that now there's the nostalgia factor, and it's almost become like we're part of a ongoing convention. You know, there's the horror cons and the sci-fi cons, and I do them from time to time, but now it feels like we're actually rolling them into this concert, and that's what's been happening. Is it's become like they're showing my movies before we go on. They've got booths set up, and it's becoming like its own traveling Corey Con or something like that.
That's exactly right. You said it so perfectly, and I'm 38, so everything that you've done has made such an impact on me just growing up, all the movies. And is there a fan base that you would say that when you do the cons or you do the signings that maybe more so is more uniquely theirs? I mean, God, maybe whether it be Lost Boys, Ninja Turtles, Grimm, is there a certain fan base that just latches on? It's like, this is the one that no matter what, I know I'm going to get those fans. Friday the 13th, maybe?
Here's the thing. I'm very blessed to be a part of so many classics. And there's so many beloved films that are, part of a franchise or not. And then there's also, musically so many moments that we've shared already that I think it's pretty mind-blowing that there isn't really a target audience. There isn't really a key fan base. Sure. Because I can tell you that when we do all ages shows, I get little kids, literally little kids who are obsessed and know every word to my songs. And they don't even realize that I'm the same guy that's in the movies. They just
You're
know
the
that,
singer.
Like, this is the singer. This is the guy I love. I like to imitate his dance moves and sing his song because my mom's playing it all the time or whatever. So I've got those kids. Then you've got the teenagers who, love me and stand by me and say they want to marry me, but they don't realize that I'm now a man. They think, I want to marry the kid from Stand by Me. Let me find him on Instagram. Oh, there he is. If
only it were that simple, right?
Right, exactly. Right. Well, thank God it's not that simple because there's people who would abuse that. But anyway,
don't blame them.
But the point being that it's a great place to be, in knowing that you've got fans of all ages. You've got little kids, you've got old people. I mean, there's literally old people that look like, they would be my grandparents. And they come up on a cane and they're all old and shaky and stuff. And you're like, they can't possibly know who I am, but they're like, oh, I signed my jackets. I've always loved you since I was a young man. And you're like, really? This is crazy, So it's amazing how wide the breadth of my fan base spans these days.
And celebrating 35 years of music, you had a cake outside. We're celebrating 35 years of music, and you had the single Comeback King. Now, is that signifying something more to come here down the road?
Oh, there's a lot. Well, that single launched the
box set,
of my box set, the new album, and in the box set there's 4 CDs. And all of it pretty much except for the one CD, which is the remixed, remastered first album, Love Left, but the other 3 CDs are all unreleased material. So it's not like we're just giving you a bunch of rehashed stuff. We're giving you 4 real CDs of music that you haven't listened to before, a full CD of unreleased material, a full CD of brand new music, and a full CD of instrumentals that are mixed specifically for this box set. Then we also have, on top of all that, a hologram, a full 50-page color magazine with rare exclusive photos that have never been released from my vaults. Videos, we have documentaries. We have a brand new documentary, that is being shot right now, that was shot last year for the box set's release. And it's by director Jake Perry, who is a longtime fan who goes back many, many years with me. And he started as my assistant.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But we gave him access to the vaults, and he went and he did a beautiful job cutting together all this never-released footage, putting it together, and doing interviews with people from throughout my career and my history, like Michael Damian and Mickey Thomas from Starship. So many people that were a part of my album that people didn't even realize that I worked with, from Lita Ford to Dean Pleasant, who we interviewed. Dean Pleasant was actually in Suicidal Tendencies,
yes,
but he played the rhythm guitar on Feeling Funky. and nobody knew that. It's just
amazing.
like a little tidbit, but there he is. So there's a lot of that. There's people that were on this album historically that are legendary. Spider from Tower of Power, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he's the guy that played sax on my song Walk. So, I mean, like, every song had some massive, star musician on it, and people didn't realize that. But we've always been very fortunate to get, like, the best of the best.
You do, and talk about this band currently, and maybe what could be construed as a missed opportunity to bring Tim Capello on board for saxophone. Missed opportunity for Tim Capello.
I would love to play with Tim at some
That'd
point.
be awesome.
I'm totally open to it. He's still in the game.
Yeah,
he
still looks
plays
great.
the sax, and he still does it shirtless with a dog collar around his neck, and he's greased up.
We should all be so lucky.
I've actually seen him go and grease up before gigs, so it's he wants to look like the sweaty sax guy. That's his thing. So I really appreciate that. I mean, if you've got something that works, stick with it.
Well, Corey, talk about your band members. You've got these guys, and you've been on a very lengthy tour this fall. You still got a couple weeks left.
They're
amazing.
Band members. Let me tell you, I'm so grateful and so lucky to have so many talented people on this tour. And it's the whole team. It's not just the band members, but we've got a great team because, it's literally like a family unit. You move from spot to spot and you stick together no matter what. That is the key to any family unit. So that's what we do. We stick together. And the musicianship is amazing. It's out of this world. They're the best band that I've had aside from my Truth Movement, kind of collection of musicians. But those are obviously amazing artists that we're very lucky to play with. But that said, these guys are too. Greg, who's been with me for over a decade, he's my co-writer, co-producer, engineer, plays a bunch of instruments on several of my albums. So he's a great guy to have on board. Then we've got Bentley Mitchum, who's the grandson of the late, great Robert Mitchum, who's part of Hollywood royalty. So
Yes.
very grateful to have him on board because he's a longtime friend, collaborator, and very talented musician and singer-songwriter. And then we've got Demetrius Martin, who's our newest member of the team. And Demetrius is an amazing, amazing drummer who's been playing for 40 years.
He's been on our show before.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of bands. He's been on the show.
Oh, yeah. He gets
Wow.
around. He likes to sleep around, as they say. But not in a sexual way. Only in, the band sort of way. He's a happily married man. But that said, so we've got him. We're very happy to have him on board. And then, of course, my wife, speaking of married, we've got her too. And
you just keep doing it, Corey. You just keep doing it, huh?
Well, listen, she was DJ AC, and everybody knew her as that. But
She's great.
Since then, her talents have grown. She doesn't just play music behind the scenes and videos and all that anymore. Now she's actually our keyboardist as well.
Yeah.
And she also sings. So she's a very big part of the band, and it's awesome.
Corey, last few things. Final four drum roll. 4 quick questions. You give us whatever comes to mind. See if we can take you way back. Man, you were acting, so it may have been hard to squeeze this in, but do you remember what your first concert ever was?
I do, in fact. Well, okay, let's rephrase that. My first concert outside of family concerts, because I was seeing my sister perform at the Mickey Mouse Club, at Disneyland every summer when I was like 5.
Yeah.
And my father was in a band that would play at Magic Mountain all the time when
With
I was
Kiss,
5.
Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park.
That same
Yeah,
amusement park.
exactly.
You're right. Yes. So he would play there. He was actually in a few movies that they were shooting there at the time. I don't remember which ones, but I know that it was like right when Revolution first opened. It was like a big deal, and they shot a bunch of movies in that park, and that was one of the movies. But anyway, so we would go there every summer, and I would watch him perform, and we were always, there was always music around. But I didn't actually get to go to somebody else's concert until I'm pretty sure that my first concert outside of my family was Styx. And I believe my mom took me to see Styx in like 1979.
I just saw him like a few weeks ago, so we've come full circle here. That's amazing. Question 2, real quick here. Corey, do you have a favorite song that each night that you perform that the crowd reacts to that you just can't wait to perform each night, or is it just kind of all?
Well, I love performing all of them, but
Yeah.
the ones that they seem to really enjoy the most. you know, and our show is different every night. So I don't want to say anything and say like, oh, expect this song, because I can never say expect this song, because there's always a good chance we won't play it that night, but we might surprise you with something else, because we like to rotate, you know, and kind of keep people guessing of what's going to happen next. But that said, people love when we play Ascension. They seem to really love the whole movie block of stuff, you know, from Stand By Me to Goonies to Lost Boys. But of course, Lost Boys being the viral sensation that it is right now on TikTok.
It absolutely is.
So,
Corey, absolutely great. A good question for you, Corey, as we wind her down here. And I can't thank you enough for being here on the Road to Rock, but the pandemic, was it tough for you? I mean, do you feel like that you were able to put these songs, the box set, Love Left Volume 2, which is available on CoreyFeldman.net, do you feel like that you're able to devote that time to that? And now that we're in the rear view, tour and we're good? Or
well, I mean, look, none of us wanted to go through it.
Of course.
And it was a very dark time and a lot of pain for everybody, including myself. I mean, we were, first of all, I caught it 3 times, you know.
Jesus.
Secondly, we were locked out of the country for a year, and that's why I had so much time to do the album. You know, we were locked away, and we were like, we have nothing we can do. We couldn't reach our family, we couldn't reach our friends, so all I could do was write, you know. And then my friend Greg, who lived at our home, was at home locked away for a year, and he had the studio there, so all he could do was engineer. So he's cleaning up stuff and working on stuff, and I'm writing stuff. And then when we finally got together, it was a big explosion, and that's kind of what happened. So
last thing, Corey, we've seen just an unabashed string of reimaginings, reboots. We've got Jamie Lee Curtis in there fighting Michael Myers 3 times, but what we all want, what we need is of course Tommy Jarvis returning to fight Jason. Yes or no? You're in or out on that?
Well, you know, I've been wanting to do that for a long time, H2O style. That's the way it should
and
be.
They got the rights resolved, I think, with Paramount and stuff.
Unfortunately, they did resolve things, but they didn't resolve them in a way that I think will be fortuitous for the fans, because sadly they gave the rights exceedingly to the original writer,
Victor Miller.
The original writer, Victor Miller. His perspective is, well, Jason was an innocent victim. He was not a killer. So he would not.
Tommy Jarvis begs to differ.
If he were to, if he were to write a sequel, I believe his sequel would be based on the idea of the mom was always the killer and Jason was the innocent kid. And I think it would be very hard to convince him otherwise. But we'll see what happens. CoreyFeldman.net. You can check out all the rest of the tour dates and all the good stuff coming up. Love Left Volume 2. It's available now. Great box set. Thank you so much, Corey. 2.1 is the name of the box set, and Love Left 2, Army with Love is the new album.
Great stuff.
Thank you.